Welcome back students with the third part. In the first part we studied about hunters and gatherers, their skill. In the second part we studied about the movement of the people and name of the land. Now as I said earlier that if we talk about the past, how we'll know about the past? We'll know from coins, inscriptions, manuscripts. Yes? So now we'll find out about our past. Okay, so now let's see the manuscripts. As you can see over here in the picture. Now what are manuscripts? Books written long ago, they are handwritten manuscripts. This comes from the Latin word manu, meaning hand. Now you have books, yes, you have a papers, but in the previous past, they didn't had a books or they didn't had a paper. So what did? They used to write, they were usually written on palm leaves or on the specially prepared bark of a tree. Now bark means either trunk or we can say branches of a tree, okay, and known as birch, which grows in Himalayas. Now this particular bark, the palm leaves, the birch of the tree grows specially in Himalayas, as you can see over here, and they had made a book with a thread. Now are manuscripts still there? Many manuscripts were eaten away by insects. They were destroyed. If manuscripts students would be there, then you need to study more history about it. Yes, so now you are thinking good that manuscripts were being eaten by insects, otherwise you need to study more about history about it. Yes, so they were eaten away by the insects, but many were preserved in temples and monasteries. They were being preserved in temples. Now manuscripts were written on variety of subjects. Now you have a particular subject like mathematics or you have a science. Yes, there is some topics about it and the basic about the particular subject. Then what would be there in the manuscripts? What types of subjects were being there? What they used to write in that particular book? So religious beliefs and practices, the lives of kings, medicines and science, epics, poems and plays. So this all things they used to write it on the palm leaves, and they used to write it about medicines, about science they used to write, then what they used to preach to the people, that things were being written, what games were being played by the rulers, the kingdoms or the children's. So these are the things or the poems, they were being written on this particular thing, that is the sources of history is known as manuscript. So many of their manuscripts were written in which language? They were written in Sanskrit, that we can say that Sanskrit were being written by the scholar peoples, okay, and we can say that Prakrit were being used with the common peoples, and Tamil, the South peoples, they used to write it. So another source of history. Now first source of history we studied about manuscript. Okay, now manuscripts were written on a palm leaf, but this about inscription. Now this picture is not about chocolate, it is written on the stone. Okay, so don't think that this picture is of chocolate. Writing engraved on a hard surfaces. On a hard surface they used to write. Now if I can give you an example, that is Ashoka. Ashoka used to engrave on the stone and he used to write it on the walls. So from there you study about history. Again relate history from there. So writing and engraved on hard surfaces such as stone or metal. But what they used to write? Now manuscripts, they used to write about poems, medicines, plays, but what about inscriptions? What type of things they used to write? They used to write about orders of kings. Yes, they used to write about the orders. What rules they have made for the kingdom or the peoples. So the orders of the kings they used to write. Then they used to write about the life of people, that is king, queen and others. So they used to write the life of them and records of victories in battle. So you study about Chandragupta, you study about Dhananand, you study about Samudragupta, yes. Now students, inscriptions were not being destroyed by insects, only manuscripts were being destroyed by insects. So you study about the past from inscriptions, understood? So now let's talk about the second topic, that is tools, weapons, pots and coins. Talking about the past. Other than inscription and manuscript, other the sources like manuscript, you understood that it was being written by hand on a palm leaf, but inscription was being engraved on a hard surfaces. As I give you an example, when Ashoka engraved on the stone, yes, and he wrote many things. From there you study about the inscriptions. So inscription and manuscripts from this and other sources. What are the other sources that are sources to study history is remains of building. Remains of building means the broken buildings, okay. From there something you learn about it. Then paintings and sculptures, tools, weapons, pots, ornaments and coins. See, as you can see in the picture, the coins of Gupta dynasty, the Asian paintings and the Asian sculptures. So this is what you study about tools, weapons, coins. They are about the past. Now, as I told you, I will tell you about archaeologists. Who are the archaeologists? Archaeologists, as you can see in the picture, they are something that digging off, they are excavating. Excavating means they dug off the things, they bring off the remains, maybe the skeletons, you get it from the underground things, or maybe you get animals. So whatever they get it from that, they learn or they study about it. Yes. So now who are archaeologists? Those who study these objects. Here you can see the pots. They got a pots from this. Yes. And then see this one fellow is means the person is writing on it what he got it, and so they study about it. Okay. And so when they do this all things, what are they known as? As we can say, archaeologist also looks for, means what did he found? What can he found more things about? So he can found and looks for bones of animals. I say no, skeleton, or they can found birds and fish. So to find out what people ate in the past. What did they eat in the past? That also we can find it from the particular underground or when they excavate. Then remains of plant that survived rarely. So this is what about archaeologists that they study about. Now archaeologists are also detectives. Detectives means what? They are the investigator. They study, okay, they investigate, they promote themselves, they study themselves. And what they study about? They use sources like manuscripts, inscriptions and archaeology. Now, why do they study? To reconstruct history. See students, if you study history, then your present will learn something from the past. You will not occur the same mistake what they have occurred. Yes. So the present will you know that what are the things that you can learn from the past. So history is something that we study about the past. So they reconstruct history bit by bit, means from smaller to smaller they understand, they learn the sources. Then archaeologists use all the sources like a clue, means a hint, okay, and to find out about our past. So we can understand, we can know that okay, this was about this kingdom. If we talk about Mohenjo-daro, then we can if we got a model of that or a statue of that, then we can understand, yeah, that this great bathing dance means a dancing girl, we got it from the Mohenjo-daro, means the Harappan civilization, the people who stayed in that. Okay, so this is what about the history and the archaeologists. Now we say one past or many. Now past, it is given as plural form, and this is to draw your attention that to the fact that past was different from different group of people. So we say past, it is different from different people. I will be something else in the past, you will be something else in the past. So it is said as past. So it is given as a plural form. Now for example, we can say that life of farmer versus life of kings and queens are different. Now, let me stick to the same example. The life of Dhananand was not same as life of Chandragupta. Yes. So, life of Dhananand was, he was more powerful. Okay. Now, his daughter had got everything, whatever he wanted. But whereas Chandragupta didn't got that things. He studied, he skilled off with the power and learning from the Chanakya. So, we can say versus means we can compare both the peoples. Then this is true even today also it is true. Life of tribal communities living in Andaman Islands and different from you, that is also different from you. Past of kings and queens are easily available to us, that are records. But the history about ordinary people is difficult to obtain, and so these sources are known as archaeological sources. Now, the last part is, what do dates mean? How do we say dates? Now, today is which date? 29 June 2020, or you say 2020. Okay, you say it like that way. So, but how can we say this 2020? You say 2020 or 2020, whatever you say. So, how can we learn or how do we know about dates? Then, it is the way over here. Years are generally assigned to the birth of Jesus Christ. Now, when Jesus Christ born, the year from there we can say it is 0. That particular period is said as 0. Okay. Now, talking about if there is a number line, you have studied in the maths number line, yes. If you go left hand side, there are positive numbers, where else if you go to right hand side, means my right hand side, that will be the negative integers. So, what did I say? That when this peoples means over here birth of Jesus Christ, so this will be known as AD, whereas this will be known as BC, and when Jesus Christ took birth, that particular year was said as 0. Understood? And then it was being counted. So, BC means before Christ and AD means Anno Domini. Similarly, C is used to the place of AD. So, you can say CE, 2020 CE, or you can say AD. Understood? CE means Common Era, and BC is used at the place of BC, and BC is known as a before Common Era. So, student, this was the concept about history. And so, the 4 parts, that is what, how, where and when. This was your introduction chapter, and I hope that the concept is clear. Thank you.